Oh my goodness. I wonder what it is. Feels good. It was up off the bottom. Yeah, not big. Not bad. So here we are, Gord. A little over a month after being out in open water, same spot, same basic spot. The crappies are still in the basin. And we're a long ways from fine-tuning a pattern. But the whole point is once you find them in the fall, they're probably going to be there at least through the first part of the winter. Pretty fish. We'll see if he'll go down here because we got about 35 feet of water. Oh yeah. Well, that's a start anyway.
Was he tight to bottom, Doug?
Gordy actually was not. He was 5 feet off or up above the bottom, and he was actually chasing. So, you know, we've been here for an hour now looking for the pod of fish, and the fish have just been really, really reluctant. The fish, we've seen some on the bottom, we've seen some up high. They haven't been doing a whole lot. Ed did get on a little group of them a while ago, but that was the first sign of actual activity. You know, and when we left these fish a month ago, or just over a month ago, they were actually off of that point over there, pretty much. And the whole group of fish, when we fished them last fall, was probably, spread over 100, 150 yards.
Yes, they were.
So now when you come back in this giant basin, and we've got probably 300 yards that way, we've got another 75 yards this way, another 100 yards that way. It's just, these fish are not going to leave this spot. There's going to be fish here all this winter, so it's a matter of seeing if we can't get on the main school, or at least a main pod of fish, or perhaps maybe it's just a matter of waiting them out until they actually become active. Sometimes they're laying right on the bottom, sometimes they're up high enough you can't even see them with the electronics. If that's a crappie, I'll be very surprised. My God, it is a crappie!
How high was he, Doug?
He was 10 feet off.
Wow.
That is a custom jigs and spins, rat's finky head, and a finesse body. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But let's see if I can get him to go back down here. He wasn't that deep. Oh yeah. And so often when we start fishing, we will start with what I call a generalist plastic body. And the classic one to begin the whole deal with generalist bodies was the custom jigs and spins finesse tail. And when I'm talking finesse, or when I'm talking a generalist body, I'm saying that this plastic pretty much looks like a lot of different things. It could be, you know, a grub. It could be chironomid larvae. It could be a little tiny fish fry. So Northland also has a generalist grub called the slug bug, and it looks just about like this. So then it's just a matter of when you start your fishing, typically, you assume that the fish, you want to fish quickly. So we've got a heavy head on here. This is actually a 1/32 ounce head, and we might go much, much lighter than that if we get on fish and they turn really finicky. But you start with something like that, and then you fine tune from there. So if the fish are actually feeding on something that's coming up off the bottom, you might want to go with a little bit longer tail. You might want to fine tune the color, but a white head like that, pink body, oftentimes is one of the keys.